So today we're going to be talking about safety. There's different kinds of safety, but today we'll be talking about tool safety. A specific tool that we use here on the job site for installing plumbing is called a hawg. We will be using them at most job sites. Today we're going to be talking about different models that we have, different accessories that we have. We're going to be showing drilling, and we're going to be showing positions we should and should not use. We're going to be showing things we can and cannot use, and the more knowledge we have, the better job we'll be able to do, and we'll be able to stay safe out there and do a better job. Alright everybody, so now this is a Milwaukee hawg. This is a Milwaukee Super hawg, and this one we're going to be very familiar with. We're going to be using it on the job site. This is my personal, I use it almost every day, and we're just going to go over some things on this. First and foremost, we have a 1/2-inch chuck right here. We have our 1/2-inch chuck key to tighten it with or loosen it, whatever need be. You must always use the chuck key. You cannot use a nail and a hammer. You can't hammer this in. You have to use a chuck key, otherwise it'll be too tight. Next we have our gears. We have a high gear and a low gear. This little arrow right here shows us which way it's pointing. Right now we're on high. Low gear, high gear. Right here we have a button that lets me swivel this. We have the actual trigger. On the back we have one contact point up here. We have the switch right here that makes it go forward and backwards. It'll spin forward and backwards depending how you want it. We have the handle, and you will always have 2 points of contact on any hawg. You must always have 2 points of contact. You cannot drill with one hand right here or one hand up here. You have to use 2 hands always. Next we have the cord. This is a twist lock cord. This right here happens to be 20 amp, meaning the size of it, and 125 volts, the electricity that's actually going through it. So this is a twist lock, and this is the Milwaukee Super hawg. We'll be very familiar with this, and we'll be using this on the job site. Hey, how's it going everybody? Today I'm going to be talking to you about this Milwaukee hawg that we have here. It's not like the Super hawg that we have just seen previously. It's a shorter version, and it also does the job just the same, but it's also useful for tight places. Places that we can't get into because the Super hawg is either too big or it's too chunky. So this right here is a regular size Milwaukee hawg. As you can see right here, we have the 1/2-inch chuck. As I'm pretty sure you heard previous or earlier that we have to use the chuck key. It is improbable that we use a nail to hammer it in or anything like that, because this could mess up the chuck key and it could do a lot of damage to your tool and also to the employer. So we have to use a chuck key, mandatory, to either screw it on or take off the drill bit that we use. Now this is a small one, as you can see already. So we have one contact point here, which is a lever that we could use to go either up, or we could use it to lay it down. Either one would do good. Either is preferred. Here we have our regular trigger. Seems to be working fine. Nothing seems to be holding it in place. Here we have also another little switch that we use to make it go left or right. Right now we are going left. This way we're going right. Also, we need to be aware of which way the tool is going whenever we use it. As you see, here's an arrow which is telling me which way the tool is going to be going once we begin to use. So we also have to make sure not to hold it in the wrong place, such as here or here in the back. Make sure you always have your second contact point. And of course the first would be your handle. Now this one, although not like the Super Hawg, this one does not have an industrial outlet. This has a regular residential house outlet. We could also use pigtails to use this with, or if need be possible, we also have extensions that will fit this type of cord. And yeah, this would be the Milwaukee small whole hog, and this is also one that is preferred by a lot of people here. We will be very familiar with this one, and it will come in handy in a lot of job sites that we use. So here we have the Makita Super Whole Hog. Unlike the Milwaukee, this one isn't as big and it isn't as small, but it's a nice comfortable size to give you enough power and to get in a few spaces. So one thing we have to get familiar with this one is that it doesn't really look all that in shape, but it is very in handy and it works very, very well. Although it does not have this plastic cover, it does also have two handle points that you can use when we do not have this lever on top, which comes here. This is the same type of chuck. It's ½ inch, same concept. You have to screw it on, screw it off. Since this does not have the lever on top, we use the lever for the sides so we could have our second contact point. Our first contact point, as always, is always the lever. So this is how this whole hog would be used. Not like this, not like this. It would have to be by the handle. Now, we also know about the gears. This one, unlike the Milwaukee, it does not have an L and it does not have an H. This one is secluded by numbers. 1 meaning low gear, 2 meaning high gear. So you can turn this either way to go whichever gear you want. This button right here also lets us turn the whole hog to get in angles or places that we might need to get to that we can't originally get to because of the way it is. This right here is the safety button. We have to make sure it's either locked, so that way we would not hurt ourselves or anybody else that's around. The trigger seems to be working very, very well. Nothing seems to be wrong with it. Check the wires. Nothing seems to be wrong with the wires. They seem all fine. No cuts, no tears. Now this is a 20 amp wire. It's 20 amp by the thickness, and it is a 125 volt, meaning 125 volts flow through this to feed the mechanism and make it start. So this right here is a Makita Super Hog. We will come in handy with these as well, just the same as the Milwaukees. These are very popular, and these will also get the job done just marvelous. It'll just do it very perfect.